What is going on, you guys? I am back with another video. And today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Commander Class Silverbolt. So, before we get to Silverbolt and all of his neat accessories, let's go over the box. So, there's your typical Age of the Primes packaging. It is the same style box as the Commander Class for Studio Series. You have an image here of Silverbolt in his robot mode, and in his Concorde mode, along with Slingshot and Air Raid on Cybertron. 3 of 5 to form Superion, and to go from Concorde mode to Superion is 44 steps. On this side of the box, you have an image of Superion. Collect 3 of 5. On this side of the box, you have a smaller picture of the shrine with Alchemist Prime, Nexus Prime, Alchemist, Nexus, and Onyx. On the top of the box, you have a full image of the Pantheon. That's what I meant, is the Pantheon, with all 13. And on the back, you have your obligatory product shots of what the figure can do in all his modes. Oh, that is it for the packaging. In the packaging, you do get Silverbolt's gun, you get Superion's gun, you get this big ol' slab, and you get Silverbolt. So, let's take a look at everything one at a time. Starting with Silverbolt's gun. Nice little gun, done up in black. Focus. Nice little gun. And then you have Superion's weapon. To fold it out into its weapon mode, you want to take this handle, bring it down. You can connect it here to form Superion's big blaster, or you can just do it this way. Store it for vehicle mode. You want to flip this barrel back, flip this down, rotate it upside down, and this port will plug into the slab. But we will cover the slab now. So here's the slab. This can be a base or a wall, so you can pose your figures blasting and hiding behind the wall. And then you've got this for Silverbolt's Super Jet mode. But I will cover the Super Jet mode here in a little bit. Right now, let's just get to Silverbolt, the newest Commander class for Age of the Primes. Our second Skeleton Combiner Commander for the year being Silverbolt, leader of the Aerobots. And he looks really good. I look at this and I think I have the G1 toy in my hand again, and I loved the G1 toy. You get this nice gold paint across all the windows, this black paint on the nose. You got all of Silverbolt here, plus Superion's head. Some nice Autobot symbols. Just like a real Concorde. The nose bends. This does open up for transformation, but you can also put a Titan Master in here. I don't know why, but you can. So, let's show off this Super Jet motor. So what you want to do is bring this up and unpeg the wings. Bring in the slab. You want to pull out these red struts, and these will clamp over his legs. There's a port here and a tab here that will peg into his crotch. Then you want to bring the Silverbolt's wings down, open the tail fin. Before I forget, you want to take this. There is a port here and a tab here that you want to connect, and this will click in. And then you want to bring that back down. And there you've got Silverbolt's Super Jet mode. I thought it was weird at first when they first revealed this, but it actually isn't all that bad. It also kind of serves as a landing pad for your deluxe Aerobots. So there's that. Now I will cover the base mode or the bunker mode in robot mode. So let's get this out of here. Take those back in. Oop, hold on. There we go. And get into some comparisons. So let's start off with the reason that they're even alive. Legacy Alpha Trion. I would bring over the Vector Sigma too, but I don't want to, so I didn't want to take it off the shelf. But here is Legacy Alpha Trion. We are getting the Voyager Alpha Trion in Wave 3 of Age of the Primes, but this is my G1 cartoon Alpha Trion, so... And here is Legacy Orion Pax, because if it weren't for the aerial bots, there would be no Optimus Prime. Orion Pax would have died at his job and not become Optimus Prime. And then speaking of Optimus Prime, here is the Commander Class Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. Another Commander Class. We have his rival, Commander Class Motormaster. The two warring bots that were both made on Cybertron by Vector Sigma. The bots, the aerial bots to combat the Decepticons in the air, and the Decepticons combat the Autobots on the ground. Bring in his Age of the Primes compatriots, Slingshot and Air Raid. So we have the team thus far. These guys look pretty great together. And finally, here he is with the Combiner Wars Silverbolt. This is what a Concorde would have looked like in 2014 had Concorde jets still have been produced. So, there's that. Oh, that is pretty much everything in this mode. So now, let's get this guy into his robot mode. Alright. Now we have Silverbolt in his robot mode. And, oh man, does this guy impress. They managed to pull off the robot mode pretty flawlessly outside of... Oh, sorry. That. So, yeah. Let's get a close-up look at the head sculpt. There we go. Pretty good looking Silverbolt head sculpt. Articulation wise, his head is on a ball joint. His arms can do a full 360. They can go in and out. You do have a bicep rotation. You have a pretty good elbow movement or elbow bend. Nothing at the wrist due to transformation. There is a waist, but it's very limited. Can only go that far. Yeah, that far. Which kind of stinks, but oh well. Hip skirts can move forward, so the hips can move forward and back, in and out. Oh, and the legs move forward on a very nice ratchet. In and out, thigh rotation. You got a bit knee bend here, and then if you use the joint from transformation, you've got a pretty good double jointed knee. The foot can tilt forward, and you've got ankle tilts. So Silverbolt can get pretty posed up. And the wings can angle back and forth to your preference. Give him his gun so he can shoot some Decepticons on the ground, because he prefers to be on the ground since he is afraid of heights. But now, let's take him out of here and go over this. Let's take this off. And you want to disconnect this and pull this out and fold these away. Now what you want to do to get into his base mode, bring this down, leave it down, tab it in, flip the legs out, fold the crotch flaps down. And you're going to peg these ports into these pegs here on the thingy without it coming to pieces. I like doing this like this. Okay, there's the wall. Then you want to bring this out again, flip this up, and those two pegs are going to lock in here. So now you can have this bunker battle wall thing. You can stand Silverbolt back here so he can man the gun, and some bots can hide back here behind the pieces to stay protected. So that is it for those. Now, let's get into some robot mode comparisons. So, we have got, let's start off with, again, reason they are alive, Legacy Alpha Trion, just so you can see how they look together. Because again, this is my G1 cartoon, Alpha Trion. The upcoming Age of the Primes version will be on my Age of the Primes display. There's that. Here is Legacy Orion Pax for Wardon, because if it weren't for the aerial bots, there would be no Optimus Prime. Here is Commander Class 86 Optimus Prime. See how they look together. That's a pretty accurate scale to the cartoon. Here is his rival, Commander Class Motor Master. You can see how they look together. They are virtually the same height. I will give Silverbolt one thing over Motor Master. This figure managed to do the weapons for the Combiner and the robot better than Menasor did. Because you could have his weapon, and then you could have Menasor's weapon at the same time. Menasor and Motor Master had to compromise because Motor Master and Menasor had the same weapons, just at vastly different scales. Oh. And then let's bring in his buddies, Slingshot and Air Raid. See how they look together so far. And the team's coming together pretty nicely. I think by the end of the summer, at the start of the fall, Slingshot or Skydive and Fireflight should be available and out and about. So that I want to say by the fall, I should have the whole team complete. And finally, here he is with the Combiner Wars version of Superion or Silverbolt. And you can see vastly different body build, color aesthetics. I don't know why Hasbro went for this orange instead of the yellow like he's supposed to be. Takara did. Takara painted this silver. He was in a lot more white colored plastic. They used yellow and gold across the figure. But I still love this figure. So that is that. So now, let's get ready to go into Superion. So, alright, so here we have Silverbolt in his Superion torso mode. Just the torso I want to cover for right now. And this looks spectacular. So let's get a close-up look at Superion's head sculpt. Very nice. Very G1 Superion. Just overall, the details look great. So, let's bring in, for comparison, Legacy Menasor's torso, just so you can see how different they are. Now, mind you, my Menasor has upgraded thighs, so he's going to seem bigger than Superion. There's that. And also, because I have it here, here he is with the Combiner Wars Superion torso. And you can see just how different the structure of the combiner is. Whereas, since with the frame system, you could have Superion fold up and become half the torso, and then you get the rest of it another way. That way, the whole figure just feels more robust. Due to the limitations of the Combiner Wars figure, the most you're going to get articulation-wise out of just this is the head and the legs. So, there is that. So now, let me get the rest of the limb parts ready, and then we will go over the rest. Alright, so we've got the arms, and we've got the legs. So now, we can take Silverbolt, or the torso, and combine them. But, before I do that, I do want to show, just like Menasor, he still is Combiner Wars compatible. So you can take your Combiner Wars leg bots, and unlike Menasor, you don't have that piece of plastic blocking the way of the combiner pegs. So you can attach them all the way, strictly the leg bots. But you can still use Superion's legs if you want to do it that way, which I find really cool, and just overall something that it's just something I like about that. I will go over compatibility with the Menasor stuff here shortly. But now, let's get them combined. You take the left leg, slide it in, right leg, and the arms. Okay, then just like Menasor, take the arms and they will slide down. Whoa. And like that, there is Superion all put together. Now he's not much to look at without his aerial bot brethren, so overall it is great looking. So articulation wise, his head's on a ball joint. The arms can do a full 360. They can go in and out. Bicep rotation, elbow bend, wrist rotation. There is a waist. Hips can move forward. They can go back, in and out. Thighs swivel. Knee bend here. You gotta remember to use this. I mean, you can use this too, and ankle tilt, which I'm surprised is not on a ratchet joint. So, but overall, he looks really awesome. So bring him back here a minute. Now you can take the two guns, bring them together again, and flip out. Actually, before I do that, you can put the weapon on here without flipping out the peg. You have a peg here and a port here. So it can just lay on his arm in this configuration like it does in certain episodes of the cartoon, where it just lays on the arm, which I find pretty cool. But if you want to make him hold it like an actual gun, flip this peg out and plug it into his hand. And there you have him with his rifle. So now, let me take this off and this off so we can show off how to combine the aerial bots. So this leg, we're going to take air raid. These two pegs and these two pegs are going to peg into the ports on his arms and on his shins. And you want to be careful so you don't break any of the pegs. Just like Wild Rider and Breakdown. But there you have a complete Superion leg. Now, mind you, this looks weird with him just sticking out like this versus Breakdown sticking out of the back. So I'm hoping that means when Menasor or Bruticus comes out, we're looking at it this way going forward. So let's put him back on the leg. So now you've got that. And then we're going to put this back in its little crumpled up configure, actually, because my slingshot does not like coming apart on the arm properly, so I have to manually separate him. Unfortunately, I don't know what the deal is, but mine does not like the tabs. So tab him in there, and then he will tab in here if he wants to. There we go. And then fold these back. And there you have, and back down. There you have his arm mode. But I like to rotate the wings in, just because I think it looks a little better. And then we will slide him back on. And there, now we have most of Superion officially built up with the aerial lots. He does look really naked without Fireflight sitting here. Now with this arm, if you have the wings put in, this will have to tilt up while he is holding the gun. But it doesn't bug me in the slightest. Now, my major nitpick with this figure, just like I had a nitpick with Menasor, they fixed this. This is actually a lot tighter than Menasor's. But instead of this, it drooping this way, now it droops this way. Almost $100, people. And we have the same problem, but in a different direction. I mean, come on. Same problem, but in a different direction. So, let's bring him over here and show him off with... Bring him in. Here's his rival, Legacy Menasor. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. With the knockoff DNA design upgrade kit. So this makes him vastly taller than Superion. Almost to the same size as what 86 Devastator is supposed to be. So, you can see just like... He dwarfs that. I will cover this topic here in a sec. Here he is with 86 Optimus Prime, so you can see how he scales with Commander. And here he is with a Deluxe, or a Voyager and a Deluxe. Just so you can see the height there. That, and then I almost forgot. Here he is with the Combiner Wars Superion. And it's just like, for people that really don't like this Combiner, which I don't understand why now everybody doesn't like this figure. Everybody loved Superion, this version of him 4 years ago when this was the hot thing everybody was talking about. But you can see how much different it is when you have a genuine combiner versus a skeleton system. So, if you don't like this, there's that. And if you don't like this, there's that. Otherwise, you guys are going to have to go third party. So, yeah. Now, let's bring Menasor back in here one more time. Because during the behind-the-scenes reveal of Silverbolt and Superion, the designers confirmed that you can Scramble City the combiners. So, what you want to do is... Actually, let me do this off camera. Okay, we're going to take our torso bots, put them back here. Now, we can take their limbs and scramble them. So, you can take Superion and slide Menasor's legs on him. And then you can slap his arms on. Like so. And then with Menasor, you do the same thing with the aerial bots. So now you could have a aerial bot powered Menasor and a Stenicon powered Superion, which is really cool. I really like the engineering of that. But if you also want to get technical, hold on, pop him back off, pop him back on, and swap the legs back around. You can also have Combiner War Superion 2.0, where you can have Drag Strip tagged up with the aerial bots, just like they were in Combiner Wars. I think that's really cool that you're able to do that with these combiners. I'm hoping that means it'll be the same compatibility with the Combaticons when they release. We already had confirmed that you can put Vortex on Superion as is. So, that's perfect. So, let me get Menasor out of here and go over final thoughts on Superion. So, overall, what do I think of the Age of the Primes Silverbolt / Superion as is? I think this is awesome. It's great. It's a great addition to add another fully complete, almost complete combiner into my collection, and to have another one that is on the same level as Menasor here is great. Do I hope down the road maybe DNA Design or somebody will fix some things about the figure? Yes. Maybe fix the feet, maybe fix a little of the stability issue. Somebody will fix this arm. Maybe opening hands just like Menasor. But yeah, this guy, as is right now, is pretty fantastic. I cannot wait to get the rest of the aerial bots and finish this combiner off. And finish off, or get Bruticus started next. So, that means that this has been the review for the Transformers Age of the Primes Commander Class Silverbolt and Superion. Let me know